Hey guys, I'm glad everybody's here hanging with me. We are going to do an unboxing. It's kind of a mystery unboxing. I think it's from one of a couple of people because it came from a Department of Shipping Center. I don't know who that is because I don't know anybody named that. But I'm going to take my Amazon butterfly knife, cut into this, and see what we got. It is a knife, and it's another Tenable. I reviewed a Tenable cryo or Cairo, I forget what the R or the Y goes first, but they're basically, this is Kansept's more value oriented line, and what they've done is they've taken their more popular designs and maybe added a different type of lock, and a little lesser materials, like where you might have had premium S35V and you might have 14C, and the result are bringing some knives down to a really reasonable price, and they're very popular designs that, like, I'm familiar with the Kizer shard, or excuse me, the Kansept shard. Kizer Ning, who designed this knife, used to work at Kizer. I've got Kizer on the brain. As a matter of fact, he was one of the higher ups at Kizer in their production department before he'd been designing knives all that time, but then he moved and they started Kansept. So the shard's a Kansept knife that I'm very familiar with. This one is a 3 4/8 inch blade. We'll get some measurements and some size comparisons. Stonewashed 14C 28N blade and Jade G10 handle. So that tells me that this guy is either going to be $46.89 if the G10 is smooth. If the G10 is got some pattern, some milling in it, it is going to be $49.89, and we will see here in just a second which this one does. They've got, this knife comes in Ultim with the Damascus blade, and that's going to be the most, well, yeah, the Ultim and Damascus, I think $69.89 instead of them being $99. They're all $89. An aluminum handle with 14C 28N is like $59.89. The plain G10 with 14C 28N is $46.89. And then the G10 with the texturing is going to be $49.89. So it's going to be a few dollars more. So we've got an extra set of axis springs, troll candy, the Tenable little booklet. I don't think I've seen this before on the last one that I got. It's got QR codes to their socials there. Warranty information, what's covered, knife care, blah, blah, blah. Put that up. Put the axis springs back up. Put the little Tenable cloth up. And then we will take out the knife. And guys, I believe this is the smooth G10, even though it's got a little texturing pattern there. It's the smooth G10, but it's got texture. So I think this is going to be the $46, not the $49. What is that, $4 difference? But anyway, so you're going to have a lot of choices. So roughly ranging from $46.89 up to $69.89 if you want the Ultim with the Damascus. If I'm not mistaken, Tenable uses the same Damascus process that Kansept uses, and I think they list it there on their site. I don't know it from memory, but they do a really good job with Damascus. Now what I can see in here is this little guy has got steel liners that are milled out, and I can see right there, this is the back side of the liner. See those 3 holes? See if y'all can see those. There are 3 little holes in there. There are 3 little holes right down in there. I don't know if you can see them. You might be able to see them. But that's the back side. So the axis spring, or the omega spring, is going to be sandwiched in between the scale and the liner. And by having those 3 holes, it allows you to adjust the detent of the knife. So if you want it to be more snappy, you can tighten those omega springs up using those holes, and it's going to have more pressure. I don't know how they have these set now, but we will take it apart. This is a full-size knife. I can tell you right out of the gate, it feels great. I'm not a huge fan of the bar lock. However, I know it's probably one of the most sturdy locks for an EDC knife, and it works very well. For one reason, if you're not a middle finger flicker guy or gal, if you're not a thumb flicker guy or gal, you can always, with an axis lock or bar style lock, pull back on it and just give it a little flip and flip it open that way. But it feels good in hand. I can feel the clip. You got this kind of pokey clip there. It's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. It's just something I feel like I do most clips. It goes in and out of pocket very, very well. And this is just an unboxing, guys. I'll carry it. But no problem going into pocket. Full deep carry. A little bit thicker knife. We'll get a dimension on it here in a sec. And that little spoon, even though it goes in and out of pocket, you do kind of feel it. Not bad, but you feel it. It is reversible, so you've got a reversible clip there. Really nice G10 scales. I'm not a fan of Jade, but I can definitely live with it. You got a Stonewashed blade. This Reverse Tanto with a deployment hole. Nice swedge here on the blade. The Shard was a knife that Kansept had out for a while, and I think it looks pretty much just like this. I don't have one to compare it to, but you've got a nice plunge grind that terminates right there. So you've got plenty of good sharpenings there on that choil. It's not a fingering choil, it's just a sharpening choil. But let's see how sharp this guy is. From the factory. The bevels, secondary bevels, look very even. You've got Tenable, the brand on this side of the knife, the model number, blade steel 14C28N, and then you've got the Shard on this side. Operating on bearings. Toothier grind. This will be one that I'll like to sharpen just to see what kind of edge it takes, but it's very slicey. It's a long, full-size knife. I think when we do a couple of quick size comparisons, we're going to see it cuts very well, guys. I have no complaints. I like, even though I'm not a full-size guy, I like a full-size knife. I'm carrying a PM2 today, which I have a feeling is going to be pretty close. So just like the Cairo guys that I got from Tenable, these are full-size knives. I think that is another advantage to me. It's not only a budget knife, but it's not a very small budget knife. It's a, it's a full-size knife. It's a knife that's got some girth to the handle, feels like a tool. I've got no ballet play, no up and down whatsoever. I can, bar locks are not going to have detent per se, but that axis spring acts as a detent, and the placement of the thumb studs, the deployment hole, things like that, kind of give you the torque to kind of overcome that lack of snappy detent. This knife deploys very well. Feels very snappy. Not broken in yet, it just came in. So I'm sure it will get where it closes better. And it's super tight, which I like it that way. I don't want any movement there. I'm not worried about it not quite dropping, because I think it will after I carry it for a while. But yeah, guys, that is the Tenable. Looks like a Kansept because Kansept made it. And now Tenable is a little division they started to make some of these knives that were very, very popular in more affordable pricing. And use the same fit finish, same quality, and have it done by the same team. I'm a fan. I appreciate Kansept and Tenable for sending me knives to check out and having the confidence in me. I love to look at knives, guys. I love to shop for knives. I like to experience knives. When I give my 2 cents on what I think about a knife, I think about how it suits me. A lot of people don't like a full-size knife, a knife the size of a PM2. I do. I think for $46, if I was in a budget purchasing mode, looking for something $100 or less, $80 or less, some of the nicer Kizers and Kansepts aren't going to be this large of a knife. So there are things to consider. How are you going to use the knife? How is it going to fit into your EDC? If you've not experienced a Tenable yet, hopefully you'll get to go to a blade show and you'll get to check these out, because they're basically what we did with Civivi, what Kizer did with their Kizer Vanguard series. And, you know, it just gives a company like Kansept a larger market to go after, because now they're very, very value priced on their titanium and 20CV or titanium and S35 VN. Those knives come in frame locks under $200, and I think these little knives coming in at under, say, $60 if you go with the aluminum, and right under $70 if you go with the Ultim and Damascus. 0.360, .0150, and I'm thinking about a ½ inch here. 0.4975, deep carry reversible clip, G10 scales. Just a great knife. I love the blade shape. I love the fact that it's an almost 4-inch blade, 3 3/4 inch blade. Let's just, while we got a tape measure out, we'll just get a quick tape on it. Right under 8 inches, guys. So right between 7 3/4 and 8 inches overall length. Blade coming in at 3 3/4. Handle coming in at 4 3/4. And then your inside grip, we'll call it a healthy 4 inches, which takes you to this front area all the way to the back. No real lanyard hole. You do have this kind of offset spacer here, which would not be a good place to put a lanyard. I guess this is the lanyard tube right here. I don't know if you can see that. This one is flat, unlike the others that have more of a barrel look to them. This one being flat makes me think that's where, if you were going to put a lanyard on this knife, which I never would, you would tie it right there. And then it would look like a big knife with the tail hanging out of it. But guys, this is the Tenable Shard, made famous and popular by Kansept with their premium shard. And this is a way that you can get into it for under 50, 60 bucks. Guys, thank you for watching. I do want to say thank you to all my channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to anyone who comes in to watch my knife, my EDC content. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do me a huge favor. There's a video that's going to pop up over here. If you'd like, watch that video. But please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.